everyone, and welcome to my Ovipets breeding tutorial. It's specifically for project breeding, but it'll kind of teach you the basics of Ovipets breeding in general. So if you think you want to tackle a pure project or a pure project, like actual project and not like a, I made a pure pet that has 2 mutes kind of thing, this tutorial will definitely be for you. On screen right now, as you can see, I have this very complex looking diagram that someone sent me a long time ago. I'm not quite sure who made it, but it's actually how I learned, was just having this diagram. And right here, as you can see, I have a 5-mute lupus. Okay, 5-mute, which would be right here as a pair. But I have a full set. So we'll get back to that in a second. I just want to show you that I do indeed have a full set, B1 through H2, of 5Es. This is for my max mute lupus project that I don't know when I'm going to pick up again, but I thought it would be a great learning tool because I'm already 5-mute. I have the whole lineage right here. Never sold a single thing from them. So let's start with the basics. When you're making a project, you want to generate 16 pets, 8 pairs. You can name them however you want. You can do 1, 2, exactly like how I did, or you can name them, A, B, C. You can name them A1, B1. It doesn't matter. You can name them anything. You could give them actual names and just write out on a piece of paper which one goes with which, and it'll still work. The names do not matter here. But this is what I do for a naming convention, because it helps me not mix up pets. So, obviously your gen set's gonna look pretty brutal, and somehow they magically even out to get here. I don't know how it works, but I've made over 100 projects, and this is usually how my gen set looked. It looked pretty rough, and I was like, this is lost. And then they cleared it up. So when I generated these ones, I did not use a lock because I was not worried about making a pure. I was not worried about anything like that. And when I generated them, I did 8. I believe I did 8 females and 8 males. But you can do like female male female male. But what I recommend is you swap them around. So obviously when I did 8 females and then 8 males, I obviously had to pair them together. So I tried to do colors that contrasted. Like, he has this bright, weird tan peach. I don't even know what that color would be called. And then she has this like kind of lavender pink mix going. So they evened out to make a nice looking pink. And then their underbelly here, his is green and hers is pink, so it'll even out to make white. And you can kind of see that through every single one that I did. I never went, oh, she looks really good, I'm going to pair it with him. I wanted it to even out. He's my best looking one. I'd probably pair him with her, but I didn't want that. I wanted it to even out, so I took my prettiest one and did the most dull looking one. I love them all the same though. It's my favorite color scheme. And then it eventually transpired to having a full second set with 1 mutation, which is a big claw mutation. And in this one, they just kind of bred out how they bred out. I didn't mix them around other than what you can do if you have gender fails, like you get, these ones get 2 females and this one gets 2 males. You could swap, this particular pair you couldn't, but I'm going to explain that later. Just keep that in mind. You can swap genders because you're technically breeding from the same parents. So I'm going to go over to what I designed here real quick with this. So as you can see, I have it all set up where you can see which parent I bred and what babies they got. Now, so as I was saying earlier, you have your 2 parents, they made A1. It's really cool, and you have your next 2 and they made B1. So basically what you are doing just to sum up what this all is you are taking your original gen set up here, this whole lineage, and you are breeding them once to make this whole lineage, and then you're breeding them again to make this whole lineage. So what you want to do is you want to, like I said, take that, and you can breed them all at once. You know, you can just breed them all and then have your eggs and then go back and tag them. You know, tag them as, you know, this one's A1, B1, C, you know, C, and then D. You see, I made a little bit of an oopsie. So technically, those two are together and these two are together. But yeah, I just messed up in the first because I just woke up and started working on this right away, because I said I would. So, I'm trying to think of how to word it. So basically, since you have these two, let's say, you know, these two are female and these two are male, you could swap them, but you'd have to swap these two or these two. If you get, that's it. Like, if you tried to swap A1 and put it here, because it's technically A1, I just named it different. You take, you know, your second breeding and place it there. Well, now they have the same parents. They have these two same parents. And then vice versa if you took B2 and try to swap it with A1. So you have to be mindful of that. Just check your pedigree and go, who did I breed? Okay, this one was bred with parents 1 and 1, so I can safely breed this one to this one if it was male. And it wouldn't mix anything up because they have the same exact parents. And another thing I've noticed that people get, they make it more difficult than it sounds, is they think, okay, so I hatch the eggs, first one's female, great. The second one's male, great. And then they get to their next breeding and they go, oh, well, I bred a first one male, trash, all trash, get rid of it. That's not the case. You can have a male hatch first and then a female, it still makes the same offspring. The same exact offspring as these two make. Which means that the offspring of A2 and B2 cannot breed to A1 and B1. It's that simple. It's just, I've seen a lot of people mix that up. I just wanted to clear it up. That's exactly why I have it sorted the way I do, because as you can see, I hatched male first and then got female and got lucky. And you can see that everywhere here. Pretty self-explanatory as far as I'm concerned. It's just, I know a lot of people look, you know, they get sent this complex diagram and go, oh my god, that's too much. But if you look at it, you follow the red, that's your first set. You bred it from these ones. I don't have brushes marked. You bred it from these ones. Both of this set here is all bred from this first gen set. So you just breed it one time, you have A1 through H1 is what it's supposed to be. I tried. It looks like a 7, never mind. Just remember that one's H1. It's not H2. And then you bred them a second time, like while these eggs are already getting ready to, you know, they're working on getting ready to hatch, you already bred these ones. And then all eggs that you breed after that, like, you know, you breed them again and you just have these all tagged, ready to go. The next ones of those ones would be replacements. Like, let's say, you know, A1 through D1 went well, but E and F had a gender fail. So you already have those eggs backed up and ready to go. So you don't have to wait the next 3 days to see if it worked out. It's the way that I do it. And as you can see, it continues for this whole thing. So you want to keep them separated, obviously, which is why these are more cool colors, and then these are more warm, besides like the olive color. I guess olive's kind of warm, but not really. So, you breed them a second time again, you get these 4, because you already had this technical set of 8. You breed them again and get another 4. You have this set, you do the same thing. 2 sets of 4. Now, when you get to this, you know, this conjunction, from 2V to 3V, as you can see, the person just started breeding down. Just to show, like, if you wanted to just only have a 5 mute breeding project, that's all you need to do. You'd have to follow this to a T. What you can do, and here's what I do, is so I take the naming convention of this one, and I just do that whole number system 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the first set, and then the second set I do 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's basically the way I do it. And you can even see in here, right in this area, they are 3B. So I have ABCD1, EFGH1, and then you come down here and it's 5 and 5. And if I needed to, I could swap them. I don't know if I did, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've played with this project. But yeah, that's essentially what breeding is. Let's go to my hatchery. So I have my hyena projects here. So I have, as you can see, they're tagged, they're spliced. And you go into the parents, you can see 1, 1, 2, and 2, A1 and B1, and then this one would be AB1. And then it goes for all of them, like I have these ones as well. And then here are my spares that are untagged, because I don't know, if EF3 and GH3 will have a gender fail. So I just leave them untagged, and then when I hatch them and need that replacement, I can go up there and tag them, EFGH, or, EF3 female, GH3 female. And I would go like this, and I go, okay, so this is E1 and F1. Easy to remember. I'm gonna guess here. So you have E1 and F1. And then you won't mix them up. You always have to check your pedigree. Don't just click on an egg and go, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this one. Because look, now it's C2D2, you messed up. You mixed it up. Now, what do you do when you've been paying attention and for some reason they just don't breed? You're like, what the heck? So, what you do is you come to the pedigree of whatever 2 pets. Like, let's pretend that B1 and A1 for some reason weren't breeding together. So you want 2 separate tabs. You open it like this, open it like this, and then you'd go through, okay, so there's 1 and 2, and yes, I started over when I did this, so I always do EFGH, etc., and then I just do 1, 2, and etc. So you'd go through and you kind of look at the names, and as long as if you keep a naming convention like this, you'll know, because even if you repeat, you won't see the generations where it would have repeated, and they're basically nullified. Like, I can take him and breed him to a first gen. Like, let's see, he's A1, EF1, so technically he shouldn't be able to breed to E1, but he can. So, it gets nullified once you reach a certain point. The only parents you have to worry about are these ones. That's as far back as you have to worry. After that, it's nullified. The game doesn't count it. So when you're breeding like this and you think, oh, they're gonna be related, look at the chart. Obviously they came from the same parents. Well, once you get to here, well, especially to the 5V, you go back 3 generations, they only share this, which the game views as separate entities. They're not the same. AB3 and AB1 don't coincide with AB2 and AB4. So, it's kind of weird how the game works. Like, after a while you can reintroduce older babies, and I think that's what people do in pure projects. I'm working on my first pure project, so I can't say with authority that that's what they do, but usually when you get near the end and it starts not working out, they breed to older ones. And that's why they keep all of their females and males. Oops. I don't need this tab no more. But yeah, so you'd compare families. Obviously they have different families because they breed right here. And here's another thing I like to do. I like to set out my plans so I have an idea of what I want to do next, and then I also put mutation cost. So you always want to do the first mutations as your cheapest, at least how I look at it. I know a lot of people that will do the more expensive ones so then they can sell egg sets of that, but I feel like if you already got your base foundation down at 5 mutes that you're probably not going to change, it's a lot nicer. I'd rather buy an egg set that has all of this crap out of the way so I can focus on the head mute, the body mute, the tail mute, but still have a ton of mutations. So as you can see, I started with Big Claws. Big Claws is a 4 credit mutation. Leg Tufts, I believe, is another 4 credit mutation, and then Cheek Fluff is 9. Lovely Eyes I think is 9. Kitty Whiskers I think is 4. I can check. We'll go into him. So Cheek Fluff is 9. Big Claws 4. Lovely Eyes is 9. Kitty Whiskers was new at 4 credits. When I was working on this, it was new. So I had to add it later. But I was like, sure. Save me some money, get another mute on there. And I skipped Foxtail because I wanted to make sure I had the base mutations done. But yeah. I'm trying to think of what else to cover. I see people make it more complex than it is. So I've heard a lot of people say that you cannot keep double breeding forever. I have a project that is sitting in here, right here, that is 13V. I believe the only thing it's missing is wings. This was 100% my lineage, okay? I did breed egg sets, so you'll probably see this color scheme out there a lot. Although I was one of the first, I bought the set from someone else, but I was one of the first to actually make a high mute project of this. So if you see other ones, it's probably because I sold an egg set. I mean, just look at the date. Well, yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, so I double bred all the way to this point, all the way to 13V. That's why I can say with authority it's possible. While I was doing this project, I think I was at main or forelock and someone said it was impossible. That it all doesn't work. But here's the thing. As long as you don't mix them up, you know, if you don't feel confident of, you know, swapping genders that would technically work, like AB2 and AB4 would work, along with CD2 and CD4, if you don't feel confident doing that swap, just don't do it. Don't think that you got it, and then all of a sudden, once you get to, you know, A2 and A4, it suddenly doesn't work, and you don't know why. I can tell you why. You probably mixed AB2 with EF2, you probably mixed these ones, or something to the effect, and it didn't work. I double bred all the way until I believe I had, yeah, a project set of these. I have a full project set of 12 mutation caddis. It's possible. You just really have to make sure that you don't mix them up and just really pay attention. But yeah, I feel like that covers pretty much everything. I mean, if you have questions, my user ID, I'm gonna type it up here. If you search up that ID, you know, you do like, if you can just do that and then put the number and do that and then copy it. I'll just copy it, doesn't matter. I wonder if I can, yeah, I can actually do it here. So you do that. Oh, now we're to my page. So if you ever need someone to help you with this, I can help you. I will set aside the time to go through your stuff. But I know I never personally had someone sit here and actually go through and go, no, this is what you need to know as far as project making. I just had someone throw this at me and told me a basic gist, but they never used the term double breed, which would have helped me. I didn't understand any of this. This just looked like a pain. But when you actually break it down, it's as simple as one day you breed this set once and you get that. The next day you breed that set again and then you get that. and then you just keep doing. You always want 2 sets of eggs in here. Just have 2 sets of this egg, spliced with what you want, and you're basically golden. It's 100% possible and not at all difficult. I just know a lot of people make it more difficult than it is. So I hope that this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. You know, I'm more than happy to help someone out if they don't get it. I don't recommend commenting here on YouTube just because I don't check it that much. But if you send me a message on Ovipets, I will 100% see it and respond to you. Like within probably the hour, as long as I'm not asleep. So, yeah. It really is just trial and error. You know, if you mess it up, you'll learn from it. If you try to have someone hold your hand the whole time, you're never going to learn it. You have to take that jump. And there's a difference between hand-holding and asking questions. I'm not going to, I don't want you to send me your project pets and go breed these eggs for me and tag them properly. But I will go, okay, the reason why these ones don't breed is because they share parents or grandparents. And that's an easy fix. Even I've done it, so don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're a failure because it didn't work out. It happens to all of us. You can ask any project maker out there, it's happened to them at one point or another. It happened to me just recently even. So, it's not something that ever fully goes away, but if you take the proper precautions, it really lowers it. Just make sure your eggs are tagged. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Maybe in the future, I'll try to do like a pure project explanation. Because even though it's my first time doing a project, I do have all of the notes and a bit of the knowledge on how to do it. It's just actually having the pure project, slamming it down and going, see, I have done this, so you can actually listen to me. But, yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I hope this helped somebody out there. Bye.